Horseback riding facilities have been feeling the hurt during the COVID-19 shutdown, but tomorrow the door will finally be open to gradually ramp things up across the province. As Audra Brown tells us, this couldn't come soon enough for an industry hard hit by the pandemic.
Riding schools across Canada are in dire straits because they've had to stop basically any of the operations that they do in terms of bringing in people for riding lessons, but they still have 10, 20, 30, 40 horses to feed and a farm to maintain with absolutely no revenue coming in.
And feeding and maintaining school horses without revenue is crushing financially.
We have a lot of overhead. It costs about $25,000 a month just to keep the farm going.
It's anywhere between $350 to about $1,000 a month. You have hay and feed. You have all the farrier costs and medication potentially for vets coming in. So there's a big variance, but minimum about $350 just to feed and stable the horse.
That's per horse.
Per horse.
So some of these farms have dozens of horses.
Dozens of horses. And, still some of them have a mortgage. They have to keep the lights on. They have to pay some staff to come and look after the horses. So there's still lots of overhead. It's a time of year, too, when you're doing vaccinations and you have to look after their feet and maintain the health of the horse.
And because of that, equestrian centers that rely primarily on riding schools and camps for income are having to make difficult decisions.
It's beyond traumatic. We've got farms trying to get other people to foster some horses if they can, so adopt a horse for a few months. They're having to sell horses. They're having to, potentially even euthanize horses if it gets dire, but we're hoping that doesn't happen. That is just absolutely devastating to any farm to have to even consider that.
As a way to help, Ontario Equestrian has set up a fundraiser with a goal of raising $500,000 to be distributed to riding school facilities to help feed the horses.
Really relying on this herd of animals to be the foundation for riding lessons in Ontario. And if we lose a lot of the horses to COVID, or they're not allowed to, or not staying at those facilities that are ones that are doing riding lessons, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble with, in terms of having a sport that's viable and allowing people to get back into riding lessons.
The hope is that this and other fundraisers will help protect the health of the horses and allow facilities that have already had to sell a portion of their herds to not have to make more painful decisions.
These aren't just animals, they are parts of the family. They've helped build a business. So to have any kind of mindset of a decision where you have to either sell an animal off or retire them permanently, it's like looking at a family and having to make that decision.
With multiple fundraising efforts underway, equestrian groups continue to lobby the government for assistance with funding as well. In Pickering, Audra Brown, City News.